Alcatel-Lucent unexpectedly posted profits in the second quarter, its first since the merger back in 2006. It also reiterated its guidance to break even by this year. Alcatel-Lucent, as you may well know, is the world's largest supplier of fixed-line phone networks. For more on this, we're joined by their CEO, Alcatel-Lucent C.E.O. Ben Verwaayen. He's with us now live from Paris. Good morning to you, sir. Congratulations on that surprise profit. How did you achieve that? Was it all cost-cutting?
So the profit itself was based on a few one-time items. We sold assets, our Thales stake, and that worked through the quarter. So I think most people have not taken the fact that we had a profitable quarter as the most important message, but we had sequential, very good improvements on top line, on margin, and on bottom line. And I think the market rightfully looked to that as us being able to fulfill what we have said we would, making this year a transition year into profitability.
You did mention that spinoff of one of your units. Are you also looking to sell other assets?
So we are repositioning the company for growth and for profitability. I think we are on a trajectory to make this into a really good transformational year. Part of that is to look to our assets, and non-core assets we will dispose of. And we will have other opportunities to also be a little bit more focused on where I think the growth will be, and that is in the next generation technologies. And we're doing quite well there.
Mr. Verwaayen, as you probably are well aware, here in the U.S., we saw our jobless claims numbers out today, raising hope that while, yes, there are still more people filing unemployment, that maybe the worst of the recession is behind us in terms of job cuts. Your company did cut more jobs. You cut 156 jobs in Spain this week, also had further cuts elsewhere in Europe. Do you agree with some of those economists who are speculating that the worst of the job cuts are behind us, or do you anticipate further payroll trimming?
So what we see is a global picture. In this particular quarter, Asia for us was very, very strong. We saw an improvement in the U.S., to be honest, over the first quarter, which was relatively weak for us. U.S. did much better this quarter. We have high hopes for the second half of the year. And I think what you see are two things. I think that people are seeing a recovery in some of the activities, but not across the board. People have to make choices, and people do make choices. It happens to be that the stuff that we make that allows people to go on broadband, to be mobile in the way they communicate, is high on their agenda. So from what we see, these are very particular selective investments that people make, and therefore our customer base as well.
When it comes to your own payroll, though, did you believe that the worst of the job cuts are behind us?
If we execute what we have now in place and we just execute our plans, we think we'll hit the targets that we have set out to the market. I think that we then have created the basis for growth for the future.
Okay.
And yes, I think we will have then most of it behind us.
When you look out there in your category of business, telecom, there are so many headlines this week because it is earnings season. But from Verizon, from where we saw further cost cutting there, further job cuts there. When we look, there's also a trend here of consolidation, it would seem, when you look at Sprint and also what's happening with Virgin Mobile. I mean, do you anticipate further acquisitions, or are you sensing what consolidation is going to do within your business right now?
So the business of our customers is going to change because it will be dominated very, very much in the future by video, by pictures. If you look to how people communicate, I mean, for a long time we have built networks for words, spoken words just to talk to somebody, or written words, you send a fax, or typed words, and you send an email. And if you now look, it is Facebook, and Facebook is pictures, it's videos, there's a few words to support it. So that will be a massive change in the structure of networks, in the services that people bring to the market. That will mean for a lot of those players a very different value proposition to the market. The big ones are very much preparing for that. They are very professional on how to do that. And you will see some of the smaller ones that have to look to how do I going to play in that. So that will be a real issue in the market. And in our sector, the technology sector, the supplier sector, you will see that startups and big companies have to work much better together in order to bring this capability to the market.
And some of those partnerships, I imagine, are key to that. Apple with AT&T and the like. Thank you so much, Mr. Verwaayen, for joining us this morning, as CEO of Alcatel-Lucent, who is with us live from Paris.